Right, we'll call the meeting to order. Our March 17th regular public meeting, corrections to the agenda. We had an add one, kind of a garage door for the Culbertson library. We'll get to that, but if you want to add that to additional administrative issues as needed, we'll put that library in Culbertson down there. Public comment. Chris?
I'm assuming I'm here for public comment because I'm not on the agenda. Or do a notice by the time the issue that I have to speak about case it was passed, the meeting cut off, the open meeting laws, the 48-hour rule. The reason I'm here is specifically concerning the city and county MOU that we signed a few months back, 6 months back, maybe. Or I think back concerning the two properties on the corner of Anaconda and First Avenue South in Wolf Point. It was through a little bit of rumor and my own digging into it, that MOU is no longer valid due to the fact that those two properties were transferred in ownership out of the county's hand. Whereas personally, and I know the city has zero problems with what is going on and how that the cleanup of those properties is now going to happen. I do believe that the process left out one giant element: the city of Wolf Point. In no part, and since we had an MOU in place, and no part the city was even considered or notified that anything like this was going to happen. One of my biggest problems with not necessarily this specific properties and or project, but potentially moving forward, is that it has been years and years of talks specifically about taxes and tax base and all of that. When with the transfer of these properties, I believe there are three total.
Two lots.
Two lots of two lots total being transferred to the ownership of the Fort Peck tribes. Those two lots will never again be able to be assessed taxes for the city. Again, I will not discount the fact that this cleanup is potentially going to be extremely expensive, and neither the city or the county are in any position to want to take on that undertaking. But again, the simple fact that the city was not even notified of the potential of either the transfer of ownership into somebody else, and especially the transfer of ownership deeming me taxable, is somewhat upsetting. Actually, it's very upsetting to me. My fear is that this sets a precedence for the county, that any problematic property that they no longer want to deal with, that is on the tax roll and is not necessarily sellable right away, is going to be given over to someone like the tribes who has a more able ability to clean them up, rendering piece by piece, property by property, non-tax, drastically decreasing the amount of tax revenue that we are able to generate. We are struggling as it is. I can show you numbers if you like. In Northeast Montana, the city of Wolf Point is drastically under per capita what similar towns. I believe Glasgow a couple years ago, when I was doing my research, per person per capita generates about $450 in taxable revenue, where the city is like at 180. Culbertson is in the mid threes. I believe Poplar is even higher than Wolf Point. Scobie is in the high threes. Every piece of taxable property that the city can have generating taxes is essential for us to maintain being a city. Again, not being even in that conversation is is upsetting to me.
I get, um. I get where you're coming from on there. We hit the quandary of. Um. A piece of property that obviously has hit the news. The MOU issue with it. We just got notification in the mail today, was 400 acres, Gordon? 400 acres of Roosevelt County land. Went into trust. So not only does the city lose, county does too. I guess, did we get a phone call on it? No, it just happens. We've got quite a few properties that are on the tax deal that, without sounding ill, I'd gladly sign over to the city if you guys want to take them on that are already cleaned. We can't get rid of cleaned properties. As far as the tax base goes, I'd have to look back. Probably what's the taxes paid. I guarantee you not taxes paid on that for 5 years.
Why didn't the city come in and request this the first time they were for sale? We had nobody in come in to bid on this. So you got this property goes up for bid, nobody comes in. Doesn't that make you a little nervous? We want to get rid of these properties. Why didn't you come in at that time and take them over or want to clean them up? I mean, this is the second time it's been up for sale. It's now.
No, it only went into one sale because the second sale, it hasn't happened. The sale is on in
The one first sale, you guys never came in for it at all.
Absolutely.
Nobody came in.
we
And
had
so
an
that makes
MOU.
Pro County pretty nervous when no one, not even the owners around it, want to clean that property up. That's why we took it over. We said that some of the owners wanted to come in and clean it up. 0 people came in for that sale.
That is,
So that makes you pretty nervous. And we have not given it to the county or the tribes yet. It's just in the talking about it. There's been no motion to give it to the county. So
again, my
like, we're trying to
argument,
give it to the tribes.
my argument isn't. You knew very well that the city was not in any
And the county is.
position to clean it.
So we have an entity.
That's why we had an MOU that we were gonna look at a potential of figuring it out. That's what that MOU states. Now, we can sit here and we can argue who's gonna take it over and who's not gonna take it over until we are both blue in the face. But the simple fact is you're entering in negotiations on a city property that the county and the city have a signed MOU on, that we're gonna find jointly and equally a way to clean it up, that the city has not been involved in. Again, I don't argue the way that it's being cleaned up whatsoever. I have 0 argument with that. The argument I have is negotiations are being entered into when there is a property that the city potentially would like to get taxes from to alleviate everybody in the resident or in the city limits. I want to be part of that negotiation. And the city is not being involved in that negotiation. The city has no way in without state or federal help to clean that up, the same way that the county does. And we've had this conversation. The county actually brought those 2 properties to the city as part of an MOU. They were the only 2 properties that you guys put on that were available for the MOU this year. The only 2. So we entered in that thinking that, maybe we could figure out with other entities around town to be able to find a way to clean it up. But everybody in this room right now knew how huge this cleanup was going to be. And I will say it over and over again, I do not argue the avenue that the county is potentially looking at to do it. The only thing I'm arguing is the city has not been involved in any of this.
We got a call to go down to see OEP, but it's not done yet. Maybe it'll fall through, and then we'll be back to where we are now. Any other public comment?
Well, my question is, have you been having discussions with the tribes about this property? Have they been making any promises to clean it up?
We met with Doug and I went down. We met with OEP. Got a phone call.
Well, it's OEP.
Office of Environmental Protection, I believe, with the tribes. OEP called, says, hey, we've got Brownsfield's money. Tribal council's getting beat on. I know the city council's getting beat on, the county's getting beat on. We didn't have the money, city didn't have the money. We have the equipment, but the landfill would take it, that jeopardizes Roseville County landfill without being mitigated. OEP called, says, hey, we have some money available, can you come down and meet? We went, Doug and I went down, we met with OEP. They have monies available, the only way they can use their Brownsfield money is if they take ownership of the property. So OEP was gonna put together an order, approach the tribal council, and see if that's something that the tribal council's interested in. That's where we're at. It's in their hands. We don't have to accept it. We don't have to deny it. We would gladly turn over, I don't know, 8-10 properties to you guys if you want. If you want those.
Can I make one more?
Yep.
I mean, this is not specific on this issue. Is I look at the tax deed sales every time that they are emailed out. The biggest problem that I have discussed with other people is the way that the county is quote unquote auctioning these off. It is stated absolutely that there is a minimum bid, and that is, from my understanding, 100. The first time they are put up for sale, 100% of the back taxes is what the minimum bid is. In talking with Mr. Taves, and talking to the county attorney, that is nowhere in Montana code. That is something that it comes out of this office, that you are requesting or requiring that 100% of the taxes being paid on the first round, from my understanding, 50% of the taxes being paid on the second round of auction, and a quarter of it to be paid on the third time. That I have it in documentation from other people that is what has been stated. My argument is, if we're trying to get rid of these properties, why are we setting such a barrier for ownership? That property that is potentially, and again, if they can clean it up, is set, even not the last one, because it's not on the last tax deed sale, it's off bid, but prior to that was like $16,000. Who in their right mind is going to buy a piece of property in Northeast Montana for $16,000, which is stated as the minimum bid? Is going to spend $16,000 on a property that they potentially have to put any money into. When we're looking at a lot, a improved lot in the city of Wolf Point, potentially going between $3,000 and $5,000, having to spend any dollar to clean it up, to mitigate it, to put in gas, to put in water, to put in sewer, above and beyond what the minimum cost of the property is going to be, we're not going to get any bids. Nobody is going to be interested in that. Except I'm going to have to spend $16,000 on a property I'm going to have to put $150,000 into. It doesn't work.
That money goes back into your coffers.
I understand that, but every single property that has been bid on, I don't know of one that is sold without a negotiation between the commissioners and an interested party. Number one, I don't know one that is sold for the full amount of the taxes. Number two, I don't know one that is sold just strictly putting it out there on the tax deed sale. We're not getting paid for those taxes. We haven't getting paid for those taxes in sometimes 10 years. If somebody comes in and interest wants to pay me $1 and it instantaneously goes back on the tax roll, that's a win for me. That's a win for you guys. But having a minimum bid amount that is out of the scope of any reason, I believe that has to be changed.
And we can look at that. And see if we can adjust that a little bit. So. Yeah, Bill.
And I just want to say, as a journalist, having two commissioners have a meeting, so it's been posted and let the public know, and maybe be done that I wanna cover it, or Chris might have seen it, and this problem could have been. Not happen. But. But he didn't follow the public information rule.
What are you talking about, John?
When those two go and meet with somebody, it had to be posted.
Yeah, or reported on at a public meeting, this will be
No,
reported on this public.
the meeting has to be posted, so people can make public comment.
Or repulsed, or no decision.
No,
It can be reported on, it says right in the statute, should be reported on. at the next
well, that's
meeting.
not what our attorney said.
And that'll be coming up in this meeting today.
You gotta give the public a chance to come,
And
and that's why you got post meetings when you gotta start talking to people.
well, that was in my commissioner update.
Yep.
To update on it. I think we're gonna go round and round on this subject. I hear where you're coming from.
I just thank you for the time.
I certainly hope that you understand that this was the best option to clean up that property.
Without a doubt, and that is not the argument that I'm having. I think even if I was there, the outcome could have been the same thing.
And it's not happening, we haven't voted on nothing on that, it'll be a public meeting and it will be advertised as to a decision to be made on.
Kind of
Yeah,
like
we
we
have
were
nothing
talking
to
about with
do
the
with that.
events of today. And the lack of any information going out there. The simple fact that there was any discussion without the city being involved is the only problem that I'm having. Not necessarily the outcome or anything like that, it's just a simple phone call would have fixed all of this.
I guess we can go back and forth on this,
No, I mean, that's.
Communication, am I gonna sit here and say we should have been communicated with, you sold the two properties that you have trailer houses on?
That what?
Your two houses that you redone, because the county gets some tax money off of that, should we have been part of that discussion?
I think you were part of the discussion when we took them over. We actually got those
Which is-
property.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and that was the full intention. The money that the city was intending on getting. When the city acquired those properties from the county, it was a full intention all along.
But
that
we were
was-
not in the negotiation of where should the price be set, we didn't get a phone call.
I can let you talk to my realtor if you want. I mean,
It goes both ways.
oh, absolutely. And if we want to nitpick about all that kind of stuff, I will let you guys,
I'm just saying, don't come at us for doing something that we thought was gonna be a good deal, and clean up the property. I looked at the Fada apartments this morning, Chris. Our department's been in there 2 times to help you
Absolutely.
clean that up. Our guy spent a day and a half re-rigging a trailer to haul your compactor down from Glasgow. And you can talk to our road foreman.
no, I believe the compactor, there was talk with it, yeah, and I am grateful for any help that I.
So,
But the compactor, though we talked about it, because we were in a pickle, I do believe it, and I could be wrong, but I do believe. The contractor that hauled the new compactor over to Glasgow was the same one that brought it to us.
prior to that, our guy spent a day and a half rebuilding that trailer so they could do that for you. So we
Could
have.
have been correct.
Have communication, you're nitpicking on one thing. That is pretty nitpicky, in my opinion. And it's not even done. Your
Given-
complaint is duly noted, I understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
Commissioner update, Gordon.
See, last week, I guess I went to Harvard for economic outlook. And they gave some pretty interesting facts around what's, especially in the Hill County area, they were kind of concentrating on. One of the big things that I never realized was, the stock for livestock is down. But the average weight per slaughter is up 180 pounds from what it was, so the cows are a lot bigger, fatter than it used to be when they go to slaughter, which I never realized that. But the stock is still down, so that's why the prices are still up. Then they talked quite a bit about sales taxes. It's gonna be the year, this next legislative session, we're gonna be able to get a sales tax through the 4% sales tax. Which will generate about 1.2 billion dollars. Our 95 mills generate about 600 million. If that could get rid of sales tax, get rid of that 95 mills. Would help a lot of your property taxes throughout the whole state.
So are most people in favor of it or?
It's about 50-50 right now, according to their studies, but it goes up to 50-50 if they talk about a reduction in property taxes with the sales taxes. If they just thought sales taxes, then it goes down to about 20%. So. But Bob's story gave a real good past history on how sales tax have been kind of acted and treated in Montana since the 70s. It's pretty interesting. I've never heard that talk before, so. I think this legislative session is gonna be brought up, but it's gonna die, but there'll be some education on it. We'll see what happens after that. So it was pretty interesting. Summit. I guess other than that, there's a landowners meeting today in Bainville on this new pipeline. I'll go to that, see what they talk about there. They're trying to get a landowners group together to make sure they. The pipeline company gives good easements and good prices. I guess that's.
I guess circling back around, Commissioner Bonner had a phone call to go down to visit with OEP. He had reached out and asked if I wanted to come and listen to that. That is in regards to this property. Went over the fact that they have Brownsfield money available. That they can maybe get earmarked for that property, the green property. So they were going to take their paperwork to the tribal council, see what the tribal council, they were send it over to Myrna Watkins. At a plan committee. She was going to look it over, draft something up, see if the tribal council wanted to entertain that. Once they entertain that, then it'll come back to our office for a vote to see if we want to turn that over.
Yeah.
Aside from that, visited with Derek. They're still hammering away on the tin for the road shop, trying to get the south wall finished up, more scaffolding work. They're getting geared up. Watching the fuel prices, of course, that's a different thing for fueling up the tanks for summer run and stuff. So just business as usual, emails and take care of things in the office.
Yes, another thing, I'll be meeting with the tribes tomorrow morning on City of Brockton. They're looking for some money to do a sewer project. And it's kind of what they're thinking. Right now, we have a project going in Brockton with hydrants and valves that are $170,000. That's gonna take all our money we have for Brockton, so we're not gonna have any money to help them out with this. They have a $1.7 million sewer project, they need $170,000 to pay the engineer.
What time is that meeting?
9 o'clock tomorrow. I don't even know what's what,
Land committee.
but it's all kind of part of, we're trying to get Brockton turned over to the tribes and they want us fixed up before they take it over. It's all part of that. We're still trying to get it, the whole community tribes to take it over since we don't have to run.
Would that be like a main council?
It's in the council chamber. Every day they have a different committee that meets.
I know they have some, but they might not like
So
it.
9 o'clock tomorrow on the chambers.
And usually they're pretty good if somebody comes in, they'll kind of move that up the agenda to address that so they can get the pertinent business taken care of, so. Moving on to minutes for the regular public meeting, March 10th, 2026.
Approve as printed.
Motion approved as printed, I'll second that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
You know where I'm at.
Minutes, motion to approve the minutes for the special public meeting, March 10th, 2026. Accepted as printed, I'll second that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Alright, passed. Administrative issues, action on appointing Joy Finicum Johnson to the Council on Aging Board.
Motion to appoint.
Motion, I'll second. Any discussion on that?
How old do you have to be to get on that board?
No age limit.
No age limit, Bill, you're good to go.
No, gotta be 18.
18?
Council on Aging, this is for the Culbertson Senior Center. Thank her for stepping forward to be willing to willing to be on that board. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye, motion passed. Moving down to new hires, Robert Armstrong, you'd like to transfer to the maintenance department. Do we have a motion for that?
Motion to accept the transfer.
Gordon makes a motion, I'll second. Robert Armstrong, he's worked over in the jail for quite a few years, I think about 4 years. He's making the move over to help Craig out in the maintenance side of thing. I think he'd be an asset to us. Hard worker, so I think that'll be a good move for him. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Down to the additional administrative issues, motion to accept the purchase for a garage door for the Culbertson Museum.
I'll make motion to, museum has a guy lined up to do a garage door. Which was approved, it's $11,900, they have 13,000 in their account for this purpose, so motion to accept this.
I will second that. I think it's pretty needed. They don't have many asks down there. Get a new garage door in there, obviously, old ones, roads, moisture, wind. I think this is good purchase and they have money available. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Down to new business, action on the health department request to proclaim April as Strengthening Families Month. I guess before we have a motion, can you get through it?
I don't know, can or not. All right, so the Montana Children's Trust Fund, every year, April is the Strengthening Families Month. It's the blue pinwheels that you see out on yards. Usually Children and Family Services is involved at the state level, and then other organizations at local and county levels across the state are involved as well. But they have felt it's an opportunity for smaller interest groups like counties and agencies to play a part in it. They have mini grants available to support and sponsor events and activities. The idea being that we foster an environment in our county that is built to create protective factors for kids. We want to be strengthening those family bonds and reducing the risk factors for things that happen to kids later on. Bill's writing really fast. I'm going to give him a packet so he can start writing
That's
stuff
all
down.
help, thank you.
So what our intention is to have an activity on Friday, the 24th of April, and it's going to be called Rooted in Love, Growing Strong Families. We're going to bring folks to the senior center, since it's handy, right next to our office. And we're going to decorate plant pots and plant flowers and blue pinwheels, and it's going to be a multi-generational activity. So we're going to bring in some of our elders and the kiddos, since it's a Friday, and make it an event for folks. I have also shared with our countywide faith groups. There's activities for Blue Sunday, which is Sunday the 26th, speaking about strengthening families, child abuse, neglect, and those kinds of components. So that's about it.
It sounds like a great deal. Do we have a motion to proclaim April Strengthening Families Month?
We'll move.
I'll second that. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
He's
passed.
gonna let Bill plant
You'll plant a flower.
You can come over.
No further business, motion. Bill,
Can we go back to the front where we started? There is a definite process to go through for the county to take any action on property, is there not? It's posted in the paper 2 weeks or whatever before, like this, you're talking negotiation with the tribe. That has to be put before the public, does it not? I
it's
think
in the hands of the county attorney at this time,
Yeah,
but any any information went down to him, we'll follow MCA codes and the guidelines to make sure it's properly transferred. So whatever the process is that he comes up with, there might have to be a public meeting. I don't know. It's in Tom's hands.
Or time for public comment.
So Tom is working the legal aspect of it. Very unfortunate that the city and the mayor, I don't know about the council, but I see the mayor is very upset. I understand the upsettingness. I don't know if it's the fact that it's coming off the tax roll, or I don't know if it's the fact that it's the animal. I don't know what the upsetting portion of it is. If it's because of the MOU, we can transfer, we can go to another property. I don't think any of us would necessarily have a problem with that. If it's the fact of the taxes, I apologize for that, but it was the only way personally Robert saw to clean up a blight, but not only a blight on Main Street, but a blight that has had 2 deaths in it. We didn't have the coffers. I know the city did. If it boils down to the MOU, and I visited Chris prior to this, we'll pick another property and go into. The problem that unbeknownst to me that you run into is when you start mitigating them. So it's got to be one that doesn't have those damaging materials in it that we have to worry about. I know our guys at the road department, they enjoy that. That's something different for them. It doesn't cost the county a lot. Certainly don't have a problem with that. If he's got heartburn over the MOU, we'll transition that to another one. And I apologize. I know I got a little warm under the collar, and I know he did, so it didn't go quite the conversation that I wanted. So I will make that apology to all you guys that it did get a little heated. Hopefully, the mayor and I can have another discussion some other time.
So,
Public comments not time for this debate.
no,
So the less we say, the better.
I don't want to call it a dream, goal that you have been talking about to put land trust money back to the county somehow, could it happen with the cities too?
Bill payments.
I doubt it.
Just a thought.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a meeting on that exact topic today at 9, but it got changed to the Friday at 9. So if you're available Friday at 9, you can come in and listen to that.
I might do that.
That's gonna be, we're gonna talk about bill payments and getting so the voter ID, to register to vote, you can use tribal ID.
Gordon's got a pretty good platform being the president of MACO to kind of get some of these things in front of the right people.
at the
Yeah.
national level.
In utilizing that with the pill payments, but not only that, the tribal IDs now are scannable. And I know Gordon's just filled me in, he knows more about it, but for voter registration, you gotta have some form of ID, right? Real ID, driver's license. Well, some
Yeah,
people don't.
in the Senate right now, it hasn't passed yet.
Well, why don't, I mean, I like some things about that law, but I don't like that Montana, the state or the county has to pay for it. Federal government says they're not gonna pay for any of it.
No, they don't,
They're just gonna give you a mandate. to do it.
The national voting, I think the federal government pays like 40 million of the 500 million and whatever it costs to
Yeah.
do. It's not even a 5% or 10% when they were talking the numbers.
I just,
But our voting machine we just bought was $160,000 just for the machine.
it's gonna be a federal mandate and
Unfunded state mandates,
yeah,
we just kind of fight over them and.
Speaking from perspective of working upstairs in the clerk of court's office, if a tribal ID it can be used to travel in place of on the real ID, I don't see why it couldn't be used.
That's the, I mean, like I say, it's in the, it's on our National Association of Counties hands with people that are smarter than we are, or I am at least.
And that's
And they'll
what,
see if they can figure that out, what the downfalls are. To me, it's such a simple solution, there must be something wrong.
And the other comment is, last night at the city council meeting, when we were told that this proposal was in the works, all of us were very grateful that this is gonna happen. Because of the very fact that this is a blight and buildings and the danger and what's happened in the past, so all of us felt that way. We also understand Chris's position about losing the tax roll and just if, I think if it could have been, hey, we're gonna have this meeting, you guys. That would have,
Yeah.
that would have taken care of it.
And I guess this was in such a infinite stage that, had this been done a month ago and everything was set in stage before the tax deal come out, then we would call, come into a meeting, but this was just, I mean, we don't know if it's gonna happen. He happened to call, the tax deed went out, he called and said, hey, second reading, there was a miscue on our part. So we reduced those prices and then OEP wanted to meet, I'm sure they saw them. They said, hey, we have some money, so it was just a bam, 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 this was all within a matter of 2 days. Had it been in a different circumstance, then that phone call would have came. But we're still getting down to that point to where.
And I
Okay,
want to make points, Chris did emphasize that he is very, if this happens, if it does go through, we're gonna be
yeah,
grateful for the cleanup.
I think it's a double-edged sword. It's gonna cut both ways. And it does cut for the county too. Like I say, so, we'll see. We'll keep the city in the loop on it. Once the tribes get back, if that's something that they want to entertain, it'll come back to us. Tom's looking through the legal aspects of it, and then when we get from legal how we have to proceed with it, then we'll follow the legal points and.
We didn't really do it yet.
Yeah, I mean, the land committee hasn't even, I'll be honest, sitting here, I hope they do, because number one, it takes that liability off the county. Anytime we accept any one of those properties and we have a list of them, now the county assumes the liability. There's one up there, the old Dave Mariani place, that lot's cleaned off. One down by the high school that there was an MOU property. There's 3 lots down across from Randy Boyce's down there that we can't get anybody to even look at them. The last tax deed sale, I don't think we had anybody in here.
Zero.
Nobody on the phone,
That's the
so,
nation nervous.
is it a sign of people aren't interested in it? I don't know. I know there was interest in those, but the interest in that property was interest in it. I wanted after $400,000 spent to clean it up, or 200 or whatever it is. I get that portion of it too. But
You might have just been interest in those 2 new homes.
Some.
Okay, that's good.
so. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn, Gordon.
Close.
Second it.